Alright, so today I'd like to talk about the HackTheBox called ScreenCrack. This is the practical exploration of SSRF and remote code execution. This was a medium difficulty box. And so I'd like to go over the problem and tools, solution, and conclusion. So try to give you as much context as possible in this box. So the problem, ScreenCrack is a medium-rated web-based hack-the-box, emulating real-world Laravel vulnerabilities, which that's with PHP. Laravel is a framework with PHP. So the goal is to achieve remote code execution via Laravel job injection to a Redis queue. So this was a lot of pathfinding. This is a deep dive into PHP, Laravel, and Redis. So, it required a lot of research and pathfinding. So this is the problem. This is the UI of the problem. So it has a URL that you have to enter in to try to retrieve the flag. And so this is what we're trying to achieve, remote code execution. So the ability to execute arbitrary commands on the remote server. So accomplished by injecting a Laravel job payloads into the Redis cache, which goes to the Laravel job worker. So Laravel unserializes the payload given, which is the URL, and executes via job worker. So we just want to trick Redis to generate and give the flag to us on an endpoint like flag 777. So a similar real-world SSRF to Redis remote code execution chain was used in a 2018 competition. So there was actually a video, I think Live Overflow did it, and it had wonderful amount of similarity, and it helped sort of inject creativity into our team, as well as give us more context as to what this problem is all about. So, and this is the architecture of ScreenCrack. So you have the user interfacing with the UI. That URL goes to the Laravel backend, which goes to the Redis cache, and then the job worker will take the data from the cache, decrypt the job, and unserialize the payload, execute the command, and then deliver it to the UI. This is the tool chain being used. We use PHP generic gadget chain. So this gives the attackers pre-built PHP object chains that work well with Laravel, or work with Laravel entirely. So encrypt payload.php is a script that we use to AES encrypt the payloads for Redis, because Redis doesn't take anything that's not encrypted. And then we use Gopher for the protocol, because HTTP and HTTPS did not work with Redis. So we wanted to identify the SSRF vector. We created the payload, encrypt the payload, craft the URL, and then abuse SSRF to send the forged Redis command using Gopher. Then that Laravel queue worker picks up the job, it does serialization, and then the code runs and you're able to capture the flag. So in more detail, with step one, there were already default queues present on the server with a few jobs in it. So we just had to look at that, and the Laravel queue worker only listens to the queue with default in it. So we have to push the payload as a job to the database. Step two is we dumped example jobs to study the structure. So the payload structure is very important in that it's serialized and encrypted. And so we got a lot of context here about what our payload should be. Step three is simplifying it. We can see that JSON format and then try to exploit that. And specifically down here, we have the UUID and the extension about the job. So that was very helpful for us in step three. Step four is converting in the previously seen job queue format, pushing it to the Laravel database, and now it's URL encoded for the Gopher SSRF. And then we were successful. So flag was written to the web root and captured. Full RCE was achieved. And so now the challenges, payload corruption during serialization. So you need to be very precise when doing this box and making the SSRF URL. It needs to be encrypted, it needs to be serialized, and it needs to have the exact syntax for retrieving the flag and doing that payload. And it's difficult to trace that. There's a lot of moving parts with this box, so it takes a lot of research and a lot of time to dig into the code and dig into the internals. So what we learned is that the Laravel job queues can be a RCE vector. So SSRF to Redis to job injection is definitely a valid and real attack chain, and we go over that in the references. So, and serialization frameworks like PHP, GGC, and encryption are critical to disguise the attack. So, but again, this box requires a lot of digging into the internals and a lot of research. And that is it. We were successful. So thank you.